You shot straight, but you shot late. Holla at me. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm gonna give you the rundown.
Okay, y'all done got me out of bed because at this point I'm getting death threats. I'm getting phone calls. I'm getting text messages. And I just gotta let y'all know what it is. Like, I had nothing to do with Julio's death. Me and Julio was texting. He came to my event. He popped out. He was in a section. He had him a bottle. And then he dipped. We did not know where he was going after that. At the club, it was good vibes, nothing negative. So, we didn't assume nothing after. But all this texting my team, texting me, it just don't sit right with me. Like, I don't even feel comfortable walking out of my own house right now, because of this whole situation. I just feel like, y'all fans are being hotheads or whatever the situation may be. And the only reason I'm really talking about it right now is because, me and my team were receiving all these nasty messages, especially, from people that don't know what happened, don't know the situation. At our event, it was good vibes, nothing negative. And that's what we can say. We're sending our heart out to his family and his friends, especially the other 3 people who got shot as well. And we just not...
Hey man, it's OG Jucario. Now back at you with another one. And I had to come spin the YouTube block about the alleged setup queen, the girl who had contacted Julio Foolio in that Buck Wild Saturdays flyer for Truth 18. And Julio Foolio did in fact share that same flyer that she had going on that night at that club, right? This Buck Wild Saturdays event that was going on. And Julio was out partying all weekend for his birthday, which was on Friday, right? He ends up at Truth 18 because she kept asking Julio Foolio, hey, Julio, what's up? Come to Truth 18, right? And then when Julio Foolio shared the post, right, this Buck Wild Saturdays event on his Instagram stories, she reshared and put the demon emojis again, right? And then when Julio Foolio shows up at this Truth 18 hookah lounge, this club and grill, she also puts the demon emojis and says, look who I got to come. And Julio Foolio goes live at that time showing that he's with an entourage of 20 people, right? And guess what? Yes, Julio Foolio was showing and sharing his location all this past weekend, right? Everywhere he went. And maybe that was for, the taunting of the ops. That could have been that type of situation he wanted to do. He wanted to mock them. Hey, look at me. I'm out and about. When are you going to come get me, right? Could have been that type of thing. A lot of people are saying that he wanted to go out. I don't really think that's what the case was. I think he was taunting all his ops. Look, I'm 3 hours away in a different city in Tampa, right? From Jacksonville. And he was taunting these people is what I believe. I don't think Julio Foolio wanted to end his life. Definitely. Nah. Once he got to Truth 18, you hear her in the background say, oh, there go Big Head. Like she been knowing Julio Foolio all of their lives or something, right? She also said right before that in the post, when she went live, she was dancing. She said, watch this motion real quick with more demon emojis. Wow, was that another sign that it was about to go down? And he was in fact about to show up at Truth 18. Well, you decipher that for yourself. There's a lot of demon emojis going on that night. And when Julio Foolio finally showed up, she was saying in her video that Julio got him a section, got him a bottle, and he was chilling. Well, why no pictures with Julio Foolio? You calling him Big Head, and you got him to show up. You said, watch this motion real quick. Julio, in fact, shows up. And this was right after he allegedly mysteriously got kicked out of a Airbnb, right? Now, many people are saying that he got kicked out of that Airbnb before he went to Truth 18. And some people are speculating that he got kicked out of the Airbnb after he left Truth 18. But anyway it goes, nothing went down at Truth 18. No hurt, harm, or danger occurred there, right? So it's obvious that, the ops, the enemies of Julio Foolio could have possibly been sitting and laying and waiting for Julio to make his move, headed back to wherever he was headed to, and they wanted to get the drop for show and see where he was staying at, right? So they didn't do nothing at Truth 18. And many people are blaming her, right? This is the whole scenario, how she became to become the blame. Because they're saying had she not invited Julio and had he not showed up out the blue, because he wasn't supposed to be there, you guys. He was not supposed to be at Truth 18 that night at all, because he was in fact supposed to have his birthday, official birthday party at Teasers, right? A gentleman's club, right? And mysteriously, suspiciously, it got canceled out of the blue because of the threats in the comment sections. People was, making all kinds of threats to Julio, saying that if he showed up to this Teasers Gentlemen's Club, that, he was going to possibly get killed. And people were saying they're going to shoot up that venue. So I'm guessing the management team shut it down. And at the last minute, because Julio Foolio was still, in motion with this. Nobody announced this at all. He just, avoided Teasers, right? And he went to Truth 18 out the blue. Now, had he not went there, maybe those guys who was laying on him at Truth 18, waiting on him to make his move, right? Studying him, right? Analyzing his every steps, calculating. When he left there with his entourage of 20 people, as he said, that's when he allegedly went back to try to go find this Holiday Inn place to, possibly stay the night at, since he had got kicked out that Airbnb. And this is when the whole situation occurred with the shooting that took Julio Foolio's life. Now, something that I found very suspicious about the Buck Wild Saturdays flyer that Julio Foolio shared of Ari's, right? It had an artist on there who was supposed to perform, who was said to be an affiliate of Julio Foolio's, but Julio Foolio never said nothing about Gigi Jai, the artist who was affiliated with him, supposedly supposed to perform that night. And I'm wondering, was Gigi Jai at Julio Foolio's birthday party at the Airbnb? I didn't see him post any pictures or videos from Julio Foolio's pool party. And also, if they were so close, because Gigi Jai also posted pictures, right? And memorabilia of him and Julio Foolio being affiliates, being friends in some sort of way after Julio passed, right? Later on that morning of 4:40 a.m. going into that Sunday, right? I found it very suspicious that Julio never said, hey, I'm going to go see my homeboy Gigi Jai perform, right? He was only going there that he made it seem as if to go see Ari, the girl who invited him out, who was asking him to come to Truth 18, right? And I found that very suspicious, you guys, that Truth 18 never shared this flyer, this Buck Wild Saturdays flyer, on their official IG page. But they have all kind of other flyers that they share for events. Why wasn't this one shared? Why was this event, this Buck Wild Saturdays, only shared by Ari, right? And Gigi Jai, I don't think he even shared the post. I didn't see it on his IG when I went to it, right? T. Marie, this other female who supposedly had a birthday there, was supposed to be this chick's birthday, right? Party or whatnot. And, Ari, she had a previous birthday 4 weeks ago. So it wasn't her birthday nowhere near that day of Saturday, right? But yet and still, she was asking Julio Foolio to show up. And I got to thinking, why would Ari put so much pressure on Foolio to show up at this Buck Wild Saturdays event at Truth 18 at the last minute, right? And, she kept pressuring him, and he finally showed up. But how did she know he had time? Because he had another event that was supposed to go on at Teasers, his official birthday party, that was canceled out the blue. So Julio Foolio could have indeed not had time had he, went along with his official plans and went to Teasers and had his party there. But, also, why didn't his homeboy Gigi Jai, who was a close affiliate of his, according to Gigi's post, right, of him and Foolio being friends, why didn't Julio know about this performance? That's kind of suspicious to me as well, you guys. Because Gigi Jai never posted official video of him performing. I don't see any video circulating on the net of him performing at this Buck Wild Saturdays event that Julio Foolio showed up to and got a section in the bottle, as Ari said. See, a lot of things don't add up to me, you guys, because Ari calling Julio Foolio big head, like they've been knowing each other for a while, but yet no pictures of Ari and Julio Foolio in Club 18 together, hanging out, chilling, after she invited him, right? So what was their relationship like? Because she said in that live video explaining herself on how she had nothing to do with Julio Foolio being set up, right? She said that she was texting him. Now, she didn't say she was DMing him like, Instagram would, prefer you do a DM. If you don't know somebody personally, you don't have their number, you DM them, right? So with these posts she was making, right, insinuating that she only had access to Julio by DM, she said in the live that they were texting each other as if they had each other's personal phone numbers, you guys. Wow, really? But no pictures, no personal, interaction, engagement with each other. I found that quite strange. And also with Gigi Ja, the rapper who was set to be performing that night at this Buck Wild Saturdays event there at Truth 18. Why didn't Julio Foolio say anything about that? Hey, I'm going to go check out my homie perform tonight, and tag Gigi Ja in that post, in that flyer as well, because he was on the flyer, right? I found that kind of suspicious as well, because Gigi Ja never performed, to my knowledge, right, that night, but he was set to perform, and that was kind of strange as well. So what was really going on that night, you guys? Did Ari indirectly invite Julio Foolio, and she had no idea, like she said in the live video? Nothing happened at Truth 18. No shootings, no fights or nothing. But could the ops, could his enemies been, laying on the location there, right? Followed him from that Truth 18 location, either back to the Airbnb or the Holiday Inn, where Julio Foolio tried to check in. But mysteriously, suspiciously, somebody gave the drop and he ended up checking out. Wow. Something else I noticed that was very suspicious, you guys, is at the Holiday Inn, there was only 2 vehicles that were involved in this shooting, right? Both vehicles had doors open, right? I don't know if the law enforcement opened those doors up or if the victims tried to get out of those vehicles during the shooting. But check this out. There's some audio that got out of the shooting that allegedly is supposed to be of the Julio Foolio murder that took place there in that Holiday Inn parking lot. And people are saying that they took out the video, right? They extracted the audio from the video, right? To show no evidence of who was in the scene, right, of this shooting. Only left the audio for us to hear what went on.
Oh, these niggas got it.
Now, is this the actual audio from the shooting of Julio Foolio losing his life that night? I can't confirm that, you guys. But a lot of people are saying this is the audio, in fact. And that lets me know that there is definitely a video of the shooting that occurred that night that took Julio Foolio's life, right? And wounded 3 others. And they were in critical condition last time I checked. But my thing is this. How did they know Julio Foolio was driving that car that he was shot in last time? It could have been one of his entourage, right? One of the people in the 20 people entourage that he had that was driving that car. And he could have been tailing them in a whole totally different car. Now, how did they know that Julio Foolio was driving that vehicle? Because all of the bullet shells seem to have went straight through the driver's side, right? Windshield, front windshield as it is. So that implies that they didn't pull up behind him. They didn't pull up on the side of him. They actually pulled up on the street, right? In front of the Holiday Inn, right? Jumped out and was shooting directly at the front of Julio Foolio's car that was obviously parked in one of those parking spaces right there in front of the Holiday Inn. But again, how did they know that he was driving that vehicle and in that driver's seat, right? Because like I said, he could have been trailing behind his own vehicle, right? In a whole different vehicle. And one of his homeboys could have been driving. But they had to know for a fact, meaning that they had inside information on Julio Foolio, and he was driving that car for sure. And they had to make sure that all those shots went through that driver's side front windshield to end his life. Wow, that's crazy, you guys. Now, do I believe that Ari gave every single drop, every single move on Julio Foolio that night when he finally showed up to Truth 18 like she asked him to? No, I don't. Now, why are people saying that Ari, this chick who invited Julio Foolio out to the Truth 18 club that night, indeed set him up? Well, some people are saying her job was to only get him there, as she did. She went live and showed that he was there, and Julio Foolio indeed went live as well, saying that he was with an entourage of 20 people, right? Proving that he was there as well. And that was just her job and only her job. And after that, she stated in that live that she didn't know where Julio Foolio was going after that club event, which she very well might not have, you guys. But as people are saying, that's all she was supposed to do, was to get Julio Foolio to Truth 18. And the ops, the shooters, was going to follow him right after that and take care of what they came to do. Now, more details are coming in as I make this video, right? And they're saying it was somebody else close to Julio Foolio that he called a brother in one of those videos that he made. And they're saying that he's definitely, without a doubt, close to the ops, friends with the ops, went on vacation with the ops, who happened to be the op friend of Young and Ace. Wow. Yikes. So stay tuned as the next video I dive deep into who this person is, who Julio Foolio called a brother, who was also close to him. And many people are saying maybe he gave the drop, because Julio Foolio was obviously calling this guy a brother. He was at his party, that pool party, at that Airbnb. Does Foolio know this? Well, he did mention that he found out one of his people's is cousins with the ops. Wow. Could this be the person that Julio Foolio was talking about? And if so, why invite him to your party, Foolio? Aren't you afraid that he could possibly give the drop on you? Yeah. And where was all Julio Foolio's shooters at? You had an entourage of 20 people. Wasn't nobody there strapped? Wasn't nobody there willing to shoot back and bust back for you? It's kind of strange, you guys. So stay tuned to OG Jucario TV as I reveal who this person is that went live with Foolio, right, at that Airbnb. And he's definitely friends with the ops. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spending with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. And you already know what it is, man. It's deeper than booty hell. And guess what?